Hello everyone, and welcome to a small little sketch tour and introduction of myself. My name's Elizabeth, and I just draw for the fun of it. I'm hoping to go to college. Anyway, this is just some of my work from like little loose leaf papers here, along with cardstock and Bristol board paper, along with showing a few of my sketches and a few of my sketchbooks. So I hope y'all enjoy. Here first I have an object head, or TV head, whatever you want to call it. Kids at my school call it the TV, the radio, I can't think. Video killed the radio star person. And honestly, I just had to tell them, like, hey, I wasn't inspired by that. I was actually inspired through the object head type stuff, and they honestly did not know what it is. Anyway, I have Panic at the Disco up here because that's one of my favorite bands. And really, I just did it with pins. That's really it. So yeah. Next, I have Bookmark Man. And honestly, I really need to redraw this, like, really bad. Because it's like, this was at the beginning of school this year, and I honestly don't like how it turned out, mainly with how the streaking looks, and the skin color, and the outfit. But really, I just designed them to be a bookmark, and just simple. Here I have one of my practice sketches with Winsor Newton brush markers. If you haven't heard of them, they really much cost less than what Copic markers and Prismacolor markers are, and I highly recommend them, especially for the saturation in them. They last a lot longer as well. So yeah. Here I have a small self-portrait of myself, but freckles, and I honestly decided wanting to actually make this more of an OC. And honestly, I like it. I just love how it turned out. Here I have my 3 OCs, actually, that are my female OCs. That are basically just regular, random Andrea, Cassie, and Sheila. Basically, I just drew them out of my head. I've been designing Cassie for a while, but these two, the Andrea and Sheila, they just came to my head while I was drawing Cassie, so I decided to put her on either side of her, and it turned out very well. This was drawn earlier this year. Honestly, I just did it with line art and regular markers. This is Bristol board paper that I'm using it on, and as you can tell, I had colored pencil in the background just for shading and sky purposes, since I didn't even have much of a blue selection to work with earlier this year till later on, but I really enjoyed how it looked a bit. I hate that hand. It's evil. Anyway, let's continue. Here we have an Archer girl. Not really much to say on this piece, just that it needs work. There's another piece, along with it being Bristol board. I think most of these are Bristol board, yeah. But I just did that. I honestly don't like how the shading looks, but it's mainly because I used Sharpies and it didn't go too well, so yeah. Here I have a drawing of Maka from Soul Eater, and honestly, in this picture, it just looks like a female version of England, or the Neo-Talia version of England from Hetalia. And honestly, it kind of does because of the bangs, I'm assuming, but it's not as, it looks better than what the next one I'm going to show you. And here we have Sol and Maka, and honestly, I don't like how this turned out. Instead of, like, the band here and all that, I only like that part of it. It looks the best to me, but everything else is meh. Here I have a drawing of Pad Sparacha from Steven Universe, and honestly, I love how I ended up shading it pretty well. I had a red pencil that I used in order to actually draw it first, then go in there and ink it a bit, but I love how this turned out. Like, seriously, I do, and honestly, it's one of my favorite drawings and whatnot, so yeah. Here I have a drawing of Brendan Urie from Panic at the Disco. I hope I said the last name right. Anyway, basically, just trying my best to draw him, especially like with the facial hair, but it looks okay. I could have done better. So, here I have a small drawing of Jacksepticeye for no apparent reason at all. I don't know, I just like how the guy looks, so I decided to draw him. I'm not a big fan, but hey, I think I did okay on it. Facial hair still needs work. I need to practice like bad. So yeah. These two are Peridot, and then I have my OCs again. And honestly, I don't like how Andrea turned out, especially whenever I'm trying to do her skin a bit darker than what Cassie has, but I think I could have done better. I do like how the hair turned out, even though it makes her look old womanish, especially with how I did her face. But overall, it's okay. She just looks very shy. She looks like one of my friends. Anyway. Keep in mind, I'm not showing all of it, but only some that I want to show. And this is one of them, and honestly, this is Ruby from Steven Universe in my own style that I could pretty much do. This was before I kind of like try to refine my style, but it's a practice. I mean, everyone has to practice, so. Sapphire drawing that I never even posted, so. I drew another Ruby character whenever I'm trying to like refine my style, and honestly, I prefer this one over my older one, mainly because of how cartoony it looks, and how simple and cute it looks. It looks so cutesy. So yeah. Here I have a drawing of Dipper, which I was inspired by the song Wires by The Neighborhood, and honestly, I like how it turned out, but I'm gonna redraw it in a different format, get my anatomy a bit better for Inktober, which is like starting tomorrow and all that, so I'm not sure what day I'll do this on, but I know I'll be doing song props and fandom props other than using word prompts, so yeah. Here's an elven creature drawing that I hate how the hands look, but I love the hair. Here's her again. Here's a little steampunk drawing that I actually like, especially with how I did the skirt. Here I have a random Homestuck page. I honestly hate how Aridin and Gamzee came out, but I love how I did Tavros like this. I don't know, I really like that one, so I kept it. Yep. Okay, I'm just gonna let you know this is a gore warning, so if you're not comfortable with gore, especially if Peridot's your favorite character, I'm sorry, but here it goes. Here I have a gore art of Peridot that I try to do the best I can in a cutesy but yet feminine way, but yet still keep the gore aspect. Honestly, I love how I did Peridot's face. I know the guts right here are probably not even anatomically correct. So, yeah. Here's another little doodle that I picked out from, like, I seen this dress on Pinterest, so I try to mimic how the dress looked, along with doing the same thing I did with the steampunk drawing, with how I did the riffles and whatnot and how it was shaded. And I'm fine with this. I could have done better, but it's simple. Just simple. This is based off of This Is Gospel by Panic at the Disco. And honestly, I think I could have done better, and I'm probably going to redraw it, or redraw a version of it for Inktober, but honestly, like how the shading turned out. Here I have my stress interpretation drawing with, like, object heads, but other than just doing the object head, I decided to go in there and kind of mimic the echo and the Vocaloid, I believe it is. I'm not really that sure. I mainly heard it on an A and B. And basically I decided to just do the arms in different ways and just interpretate it that way. Okay, the next sketchbook. As you noticed, I have different things on here. I try to do a little John Egbert sketch, which is meh, along with having my Jimsona Amolite. So yeah. Here I have a drawing of Greg from Steven Universe. Surprisingly, I'm surprised it got featured because I did poorly on it, especially on the guitar. I did absolutely poorly, but oh well. Here I have a little doodle of Carol in my own drawing. If you don't know who Carol is, she's a character from the Walking Dead series, and I absolutely love her character. She's amazing. Just put it that, she's amazing. Even though you're kind of confused where her personality leads, she's full-blown awesome. Peridot drawing, and honestly, the neck is way too long. And I got a ton of comments on it, but people did like it, but the neck, too long. She looking like Yellow Diamond with that neck. Here I have a drawing of Michonne. I was using the Winsor & Newton markers and all that, and I try to do the same fading technique on her headband. And honestly, for some parts of the shading, I actually used purple into the skin, which actually made me like how it looks. So yeah. Here I have just a group of notes. You don't have to look at them, but mainly I just like how I did the sketching on that. So here I have a couple of doodles that I'm trying out. That was like way before Inktober, but I need to practice. This is a TV head that has 21 pilots on it. And honestly, I enjoyed how I drew this, especially with how I made the static on the background of that, which was basically just cross-hatching. Then I have a little Cyclops guy with a neat little hairdo and headphones. Then I kind of mimicked this from the Monster Falls AU of Gravity Falls, and honestly, I don't know how the antlers did. I think I could have done better, but I love the face. Here I try to draw Mina, correct me if I'm wrong, from Homestuck, and honestly, I got the horns wrong. Like, ugh. But I love how the drawing looks in of itself. So yeah. Here we have a girl smoking a cigarette. It's random. Here I have a simple drawing that I try to do more detail into the hair other than portraying like skin tone and all that, which I could have done a lot better, but hey, we all make mistakes. Cassie Concepts, and originally she kind of like, without the coloration, she looks very much like a white person and all that, so I basically like, this is one of my favorite drawings ever, and I just decided to play around with her having orange hair along with a darker skin tone, and I ended up loving it. So a full out drawing of Cassie, other than like standing up like full body, but hey, another Cassie and all that. So honestly, like how I did the curves in that one. Here I have a random drawing that I did out of my head, and honestly, it's okay.